My name is Corey Bickler, South Salem grad, class of 2009.
0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
Well, today we're joined by 2009 graduate Dr. Corey Bickler. Dr. Bickler's time as a Saxon included serving as our ASB president, winning 3 league championships across baseball and football, helping the girls hoops team by being on their prep team, and even coming back after college to help coach football and baseball and work for a year as an IA even. Since his years as a Saxon, Dr. Bickler played 4 years of college football at Claremont McKenna College. He earned his DMD through OHSU in Portland and is now back in Salem, where he owns and operates a dental practice just down the street from our doors. Dr. Bickler is now married and the father of 2 littles, Jack and Addie. Shout out to them. And he's live and in person today as he's double dipping as a featured guest in our health services program and also joining us so we can share his story out. Dr. Bickler, welcome to the show and your time in the spotlight.
Ryan, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Really appreciate what you're doing with the pod. It's been fun listening to people that I've known and am familiar with, but also to learn about all these other Saxons that are younger than me. Their stories are fantastic, and it's just more of that spirit of South Salem High School. So thank you so much for all your work and putting it together.
Well, I appreciate it. That's kind of you to say, and thanks for being one of our listeners, and again, for being so generous with your time today. I'm curious how those conversations in our health classes go.
It was good. It's always a little funny to be put on the spot by 30 high school students, but I was smart enough, and I brought them, like yesterday I brought them pizza and today I brought them donuts, and they loved that. So
yes.
So I guess I started off on the right foot. But it was really fun. I had some feedback that I might have convinced somebody to be interested in dentistry in the last day. So that's kind of fun. But they were good conversations, super inquisitive questions from students, pretty open format. So I just let them ask whatever they wanted throughout the process, and to hear a little bit of my story, and some of the things that I'm into. It's fun to share it. But it was also really fun to hear about what their kind of interests are as far as whether in different healthcare settings, dentistry, whatever it was. It was fun to be there.
I saw you rolling a cart as well. What was in that big box?
Yeah, I just decided that I needed something to bring stuff in. I just had some like models and different examples of some of the stuff that I do. Yeah, mainly it was like to hold the plates and to have like a place to put the pizza and the donuts on as I was rolling in. I just couldn't handle all that with my hands, but yeah, it definitely was a statement piece.
I don't do a lot of teaching, but when I do, props and food are like the key to keeping kids engaged.
Absolutely. Hey, this morning with sugar, we worked out pretty well. So
nice work. We'll see. We'll get the crash later.
Yeah, that's not my problem though, right?
No,
that's not my problem.
It's like the fun uncle or the grandparent, just set them up on sugar. And
that's it.
Yeah. Well, man, talk about your 4 years as a Saxon. We heard a little bit about what went on, but what did you love about South?
Yeah. So my parents are both Saxons, so I'm second generation. My brother was here before I was. So kind of my whole childhood growing up, I always dreamt of being a Saxon, certainly going to football games and baseball and basketball, obviously great sports teams. But I always kind of dreamt of being a Saxon. I was part of the class, like Zach Defoe, who's I think is in the building now, right?
Yeah, right at the door.
Nice. And so as that class was really a unique one, because I think growing up, we always had Coach Defoe and Anne-Marie, we had access to the school. And then another good friend of mine was Craig Chamberlain, whose dad was a staff member for a long time, and we went to basketball games growing up.
Yep.
So I got some really neat opportunities to be kind of behind the scenes as a kid. And it kind of inspired, that love and adoration for certainly the athletic side of things. As far as my 4 years here, I was lucky. My freshman year, my brother was here, so I got to spend some time being in the same school as him. But my time as a Saxon, I was so impressed with the spirit and culture of South Salem. And it was really neat to be back here these last few days, because you still feel that. It's a great culture of inclusion. And it's always been that way from my perception. Certainly at different times it's looked different ways, but I like how kind people are. I like how, while the building and everything looks different, you can still sense the way that in general that it was. To share one story of a great example of, and this is actually speaking directly about Zach. When we were in high school, he did something that we started doing, and I'll give him credit because it's true. When we were down in the Commons, which things looked a little different that day, during that time, we used to invite single kids over to have lunch with us every day. and include them in our group. And doing that, reaching out and including people was a big part of kind of the ethos of what was created. And I love that is still going on through different ways, including something like this pod, right? Like you're including community members, bringing them in to enjoy that. And I think that's really special about this high school.
It's true. And I've seen in the 10 years, 11 years I've been here that there is, don't want to knock any of the other high schools, certainly the one that I grew up going to, but there's something different about South. There's something, like you said, that is part of the culture that is ingrained in the staff who have been here for a long time. And in the ways that we try to develop the leaders, student leaders, especially, to propel that forward. I love it. I love being here. And I'm so grateful to hear you speak to that too, because it's what I've appreciated most about South, for sure.
It's the small things, right? It's the small things that make the big things. And being a part of it, being a kind of a cog in the wheel on it, it made me a better person. And I think it's led into my professional life, certainly. But no, I look back with just great memories of some of the things that we did. Certainly, time spent on the sports field, fun memories, and all of that. But, time spent in the classroom too. I've got fond memories of great science stuff and English and all different experiences within the classroom as well. So no, I absolutely look back on my time here and smile about how wonderful it was.
What did you love about playing baseball?
Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah. So during my time, when I came into high school, it was right after like Joey August had left, and they were pretty good in that era preceding. And we kind of had like a little bit of a dip, and whatever that, I don't know exactly why that was, but my sophomore, right, my class had a lot of people in it athletically that played very well. As sophomores, some of us even started on like the varsity baseball and football teams. Speaking specifically to baseball, we meant that we started 3 years of baseball. So by the time that we were seniors, we had been there, done that a lot. And including our junior year, which was probably our more successful year. That was like Matt Cox's senior year.
Right.
We were really, really a great team. We kind of ran into a buzzsaw with North Medford at the end. We don't need to go there. But overall, it was fun to just be a part of it. Coaches were great. Coaches Kerr, Riley, and Short. At that time, who I think are all three still in the building.
All still here.
Awesome people.
Riley's back coaching as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. He is just one of those guys that has an amazing positive outlook on the way that you play baseball in life. I think he made all of us better men through his teachings of not just baseball specific things, and he made things fun, right? So that was a part of our baseball thing. And it wasn't so much even playing ball in the spring. A lot of us stuck through and played in the summer as well together. And some of our favorite memories are the funny, like we called it the milk wagon, the little short bus that we rode to and from. The funny stories that we would tell them on the milk wagon, right? Like just crack up stuff that was our summer spent together playing baseball. And similar things in football, obviously, but no, great memories of baseball.
Yeah. What about football? Talk about that a bit.
Yeah.
Your experiences, memories.
Yeah. Again, kind of similar thing, little bit, with Joey and some of his class stuff. They were pretty good, and the South had been struggling for some amount of time. And then our class, I think my freshman year, we had like 61 guys play freshman football. We kind of came back a little bit and started ramping it back up. Our senior year, we ended up winning league championship. Had a ton of friends that were just great, solid people. We all kind of played our part. I think we graduated 38 seniors, which is a testament to everybody kind of playing their role, right? Like that's a ton of people. And while I was just happy to be a part of that, that was something that started in the third grade, right? Like,
Yes.
Certain guys had played all the way through. And obviously being a part of, the same class that Zach was in with Coach Defoe, not that we got any special attention, but we certainly got enough attention. And I can think of maybe not all 38 right off the top of my head, but certainly a lot of guys within that group that I'm still friends with and hang out with to this day. And we share those common memories. And football is unique in that it's so big, right? I mean, you played football in college and high school and everything. And there's so many people that are required to make the thing go.
Sure.
And it's a fun thing that you start in the summers and you go through, and there's a lot of trials and tribulations. But it was fun to kind of bring South Salem back to prominence. And I know that they had a pretty good run there after us, of just really good players. And it was fun to be a part of that again.
Yeah. And before we get to the college level for you, the thing I know about South too is, like, I've played in a lot of stadiums. You have as well. There is nothing better than what we have here at South.
Yeah.
In terms of, especially when you've got a successful season, getting the school year off started with that. That place is rocking. The place is lively. I've been able to witness a lot of it. I was on the bad end of a few of those games as well, but yeah, talk about just those Friday night crowds. And
as we all know, the unique U-shaped, structure of what the school is around the stadium. There's nothing better than I can think of than like warming up to a game and the drum line's playing and it's reverberating off the building. It's just there's a certain type of just really fun atmosphere and intensity that's being built up. I love how it's so close, right? I mean, of course I can say all these things that everybody probably feels the same way. And I mean, going back to some of those, like even the Sprague game my senior year, I think we had like 5,000 people at the game, right? I mean, I never had that anywhere in college, right? I mean, I maybe got 1,000 people at a game, right? Like it just wasn't the same experience. And it's a special one. I mean, it's really a special thing. The community supports it well, and it's awesome. I love being part of it from the time I was a ball boy to playing, through senior year. And I can remember very distinctly when we lost, obviously football, when you lose a game, we didn't lose many games, luckily, through our class or whatever. But when we lost that final game, kind of coming to that realization of like, it's over. I was crying. I know probably the majority of my classmates were too, because it just becomes so real. It's so definitive. So it was great. Like I said, to kind of accomplish what we accomplished, to be a part of that, to do it with my friends. It was really, I had a great time.
And you're ASB president that year as well, senior year?
Yeah. Certainly. I don't know how that happened. It was an honor to do it. I really enjoyed it. I had a really good relationship with Mr. Phelps, who was our principal at the time. And it was fun to work with him on some different things, as well as, like Miss August and the leadership crew. It was fun to do that. I felt honored when I got chosen to be the ASB president. There were some things that came with it that I was unaware of, and some responsibilities and things, but that was good for a 17, 18-year-old kid to have that. And it was just nice to be recognized as like somebody who people can look at to follow or lead or whatever. It was an honor to be able to do those things.
Yeah. So you graduate and you head down to Claremont. What was your 4 years there like?
Yeah. Claremont's a very unique place. It's in East LA, not maybe where you'd think there's like a beautiful area. Luckily, Claremont's kind of like a little oasis within the desert, and a fantastic school. I majored in biology down there, which totally was really, really tough, especially managing it with football. I mean, there would be days where I'd start at 7:30 in the morning and work till 7 o'clock at night with like a half-hour lunch break during football season. Taking on like the science curriculum at a liberal arts school is no joke. And there's not really any exceptions made for athletes by any means. If anything, it's probably a detriment to you, but it just showed, this was for me. Sports were for me in college, and you kind of learn that in time. At first, I was completely homesick, wanted to come back, the whole thing, and had a tough freshman year where I actually got onto all 4 special teams my freshman year, which was kind of my goal.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, like I was having fun with it, but I never actually played a snap of offense, and that was always tough. I played a lot of scout team, and it was a grind. So purview into spring semester, we had a ton of fun. That's a lot more of the fun and the enriching experiences you have, where you can go places and doing things on top of schoolwork, as opposed to just being committed to the grind that is athletics. And then, sophomore year, we had a great football season. It was fun to be a part of it. But I had kind of this funny experience within football where we had 3 head coaches in 4 years. So there was no amount of consistency that I ever had through my time as an athlete there. But so very middle of the road, 2 years, we almost won the league my sophomore year, which was very fun. And then my senior year, we actually went 0-9. So I had everything kind of in that whole experience. And I had never, ever, I don't think, been on a team that never won a game in my whole athletic career. And it was my last senior year was 0-9. But it was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me, because I think it made me appreciate all the things that I had done in the past much more. When you're winning, it's easy. When you're losing, it's really hard. And to have that life lesson before the time that I went out into the real world was really good for me. And I look back on my time, all 4 years, great experience, highly recommend Claremont. I loved it as a school, as an experience. It taught me a lot about life, and I got to go do my own thing and be on the sports field for sure. But it was just a fantastic school. I couldn't have imagined a better place for me.
Did you know at that point dentistry was your future?
Yeah. So it actually, dentistry kind of went back to high school. At the time I was in high school, we had these career academy things where you were supposed to go do a job shadow. I think this was like in our sophomore year. I went and job shadowed my pediatric dentist at the time. His name's Dick Rowell. Rest his soul. I had a day of dentistry with him, and it was a fantastic day. Saw some kids that were going through some things, and it was just a tough experience. He handled it with a lot of grace. And I think I looked at him in that situation and just said, hey, that's what I want to do. I want to take care of people to the same level that he is. He just crushed it that day, right? I mean, unfortunately, what I do for a living, a lot of people aren't really pumped to be in my chair, which I understand. But what I try my best is to make sure that their experience is unlike any other and that they're well taken care of, right? I've got their back. I'm going to communicate well. I'm going to listen. The relationship side of it is why I loved dentistry from the onset. And it's the part that drives me and still gives me such happiness and joy now.
Operating here in Salem.
Yep.
When did you take over that business? I know there's a stint in Albany, that.
Yep. So graduated, went from obviously Claremont, and then we took a year off. We're here at South, OHSU for 4 years in Portland. And then right out of school, I got a job working for Carson Cooch, who is a dentist in Albany. He runs a great practice down there. Good friend of mine now. Really got to learn a lot about what kind of dentist I wanted to be, what I liked, what I didn't like, how to work, on a daily basis in a really upcycled team, really fast paced. And then also get to learn a little bit about business. Because unfortunately, yes, I went to school for 20 years, but I never had a business education.
Right.
So had a lot to learn there. And then so I was at Carson's office until 2023, so about 5 years. And then I took over the practice that I'm currently in from a dentist named Monty Morgan in May 1st, 2023. So I've been there for about 2 years now.
Yeah, coming up on that 2-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And I know we skipped over a ton in those years. Yeah. Marriage and kids.
Yeah. Yeah, so I met my wife actually my second year of dental school over at a ski trip in Bend. Certainly, she struck me, from the standpoint of from the first day I've ever met her, she was just different. There was a lightness to it. There was, I think anybody that really finds their significant other, you get struck at that point in time and you kind of just know that that's your person. Certainly early on, and then as our relationship grew, it was just this wonderful thing. It was a reset for me. It was somebody who held me accountable, somebody who really made me a better person. And her name is Alex. She was working in Bend at the time. I convinced her to move over to Portland, where I was in dental school, where our relationship really took off in Portland. And we got married in 2019, pre-pandemic. Had a wonderful wedding. And weddings are so unique. You probably remember.
Yeah.
It's that melting pot of like all the people that from back in the day, high school to college to dental school or whatever professional experience you had. And it was like all of them in the same place. It was like an emotional overdrive for me, right? Like just all these funny, like all these people are tied to you too in some fashion, and to celebrate yourself and be a part of that was really fun and cool. And it was funny that it was, that time before COVID where we went all isolated.
Yes.
And then, so went through COVID, we ended up getting pregnant pretty quick after, getting married there, and then had Addie November 2020. And she's 4 now. Okay. And then Jack followed 2022, our son Jack. So he's 2. And we're just off to the races, just chasing 2 kids. And we actually just got a dog.
Oh my goodness. Well,
on Halloween. Oh man.
What kind of dog?
Yellow lab.
Lab. That's what we have too.
Yeah. She is a great puppy, but getting way bigger than we expected. And it's like we have 3 kids and
totally.
One's a little bit more rambunctious than the rest of the 2. So dealing with the puppies, it's been fun. It's great, but it's just been a lot. So
puppy we've had 3 yellow labs over the course of our 17 and a half years of marriage. And year 3 is a big year where things start to calm down. And then year 5 is like, okay, now they'll play when you want to play and they'll chill the rest of the time.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So good. Speaking of kids, you mentioned the term grace right over your shoulder. There's a phrase from one of my favorite authors, Memorize Grace. Bob Goff was the author. And my daughter, 11-year-old Lucille, the other day, she goes, Dad, I know you're doing all these interviews. You should just ask every person you interview what the term grace means. What that quote, memorize grace, what does it mean to them? And then put it all together at the end. So this is for Lucille. Shout out to her. You mentioned grace. What does grace mean in terms for you professionally, personally? How does that word strike you?
I think it's taking the time to take care of people. And whatever that means for me, and I'm going to speak to it professionally mainly. Yeah. Everybody has a different expectation when they come to their dentist or to come to their healthcare provider. It's my job to figure out what that is. It's my job to be a little bit dynamic in how I treat different people. And I think if I'm speaking to grace, I think it's more about making sure that by the time they're done, that I've accomplished whatever it is that they're set out to do. It's not easy to do. It can take a lot of time. But really turning on my listening ears and making sure that I'm plugged into what they want and to serve them the best way possible. I think that that's what grace would be defined to me professionally. I think within my kids, very similarly, it's listening to them. It's spending the time, putting the phone down, which unfortunately is such a drain on our attention or whatever technology is bound, but just making sure that you take care of your person, whether it's your wife, your kids, your patients, toning out everything else and focusing on what's in front of you, which is not easily done, unfortunately, anymore. Listening into your pod, and it inspired me to read Digital Minimalism. Fantastic book. I think every person should read that book. I actually listened to it on an audiobook, which is that's a little contradictory, right?
A little counterintuitive.
A little counterintuitive.
Yeah.
The Digital Minimalism not being read, but being listened to. It was awesome. But I loved that book. Some of the things I think it put in the frame of reference, I really am about it. And I've tried to put it into my life here moving forward. I think it's made my life better. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for those conversations.
Colin Box with the...
Colin Box. Yeah, man. He's a great dude. And that fantastic suggestion. So I took that and ran with it.
Yeah, I love that. And what I'm struck with, and it even was evidence in just the pause that you had, was that grace requires patience. Grace requires hearing someone's goals, hearing someone's story, requires taking the time to listen, taking the time to really truly identify what it is that they're saying to you. And just as I was listening to you there, that pause, that grace requires time, and can be hard. Patience is a really, really difficult thing at times. And
one thing that I think in life, unfortunately, I'm a talker. I hate to say it, but if I'm talking
makes
about...
it great for this.
Yeah, right. When I'm talking, I'm not listening, right? And it's like, hey, whoa, stop, stop talking. Because if you're not talking, you can listen better, whether that's the body language or what exactly somebody's trying to say. And that's something that I have to remind myself on a daily basis, because unfortunately, whether it's just who I am, I'm a talker first, but I really have tried in my career to emphasize, especially recently, more of my listening skills.
Yeah. What a gift to your patients, what a gift to your kids, your partner, those you come in contact with. Absolutely. I can see it. I can sense it as we're here in this room together. And that's probably a great launching point into our 4 big questions. Shout out to the Saxon Success Fund. We were talking about Laura Tiffin earlier as she's leading the way with that organization. Those questions, as always, are brought to us by the Saxon Success Fund. And I'm curious, Corey, for you, and we've talked about that journey. What do you feel like you've learned most? Or like, if you could give yourself, let's start with, you could give yourself advice, your high school self advice, go back in the 2006, 2009 era, what would you tell yourself?
Sure. A few different things, obviously, right? Love to tell myself a lot.
Yeah.
One thing is figure out how to study. Okay. And that a lot of people apply that to academics, right? That's a part of it. I don't think that I truly learned how to study until I was in dental school, where we were forced with, there was a semester where I had to take 14 tests in 6 days. How do you do that?
Yep.
It's turning and burning a lot of information. It's being really efficient. It's figuring out how to deduce things and understand things. But for me, it became, okay, how can I read through stuff and what is testable information? And it was very down to, you become a professional test taker, all that stuff. But why is that useful in life? It's useful in life because professionally, and I'm sure you feel the same way, we're tested every day. You don't know what's going to walk through that door. And it's how you can synthesize and deduce, diagnose, and respond that makes you good or bad at what you do. So the effect of studying now as a professional is more understanding how you best synthesize, understand, diagnose, and treat information, right? So I wish I spent more time in high school on the ability to do that, because I think we get so lost in memorization and getting through the information that we don't sit down and take time to get better at the process, which will really pay dividends long term.
Yeah. And that leads us into, like, what more have you learned as you've been studying, broader sense? What is it that you've taken away over the course since high school graduation that you think our high school students could apply now? Does that question make sense?
Yeah. If anybody can learn anything from me, learn that failure is a part of life, and being okay with failure and accepting it as an opportunity is really what's going to make or break you. I had told the high school kids this morning about a situation with me. I think the big hot to trot class in pre-med or whatever is organic chemistry. It's the one that gives everybody the EBGBs and gets the hair raised on the back of their neck, everything.
Makes or breaks.
It's the hardest class in the world. My first semester taking organic chemistry, I got a C-, right? For a lot of people, that would be the end of their journey as a pre-med student. And for me, I certainly wasn't pumped about it, but I continued because I was like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it happen. And guess what? I went back and I repeated that class and I did much better the second time. And what I was trying to explain with the students is like, hey, you can fail, you can, do anything, but it's, do you get back up after the fact? Do you keep trying because it's what you're meant to do, because you feel like this is what I can do? The people that are going to do that in life are going to be more successful always, because we all get the curveball, right? We all get the different things that throw us off, and having the ability to be dynamic and understand, and flipping it into a growth mindset of more of an opportunity driven life is going to be healthier for you. It's going to be more productive, and you're going to grow from it. So I think that while that might have been something I did in high school, not to the extent that I had to deal with things like in college and in dental school, so I was faced with a lot of adversity, and it helps me to this day. When my kids are mad at me or when a patient has a tough situation, it's like, hey, this is an opportunity to blow somebody's mind, right? This is how can I flip this? Right. And it's not easy to deal with, and I bump through it sometimes. I'm better with it at other times than others, but I always try and own up to like, hey, if I make a mistake, I own up to my mistake. And say, hey, I'm going to do everything I can to correct that. So having the humility and the ability to step in and out and make sure that you're, keeping that course and that grace moving forward, I think that's a great mission.
Absolutely. And it actually leads right into question 3, which is like, how, of all those learning experiences and where you're at today, what or who was it those experiences? Are there people that you can point to and be like, you already have, so I know the answer, what it really is, but who helped you get to this point?
Sure. Obviously, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my parents, Pat and Linda Bickler. Opened a lot of doors for me and my brother that wouldn't have otherwise been there. Certainly my grandparents and my whole family. I'm not going to go into naming all of them, but their support is always well felt. I'm lucky that I had a family in town. I don't know if the Martz family, who's my cousins moving down, great kids. And they provided fanship for me going through high school. And I tried to do the same for them on through, and still do. I'm still their biggest dang fan, or try to be. 4 amazing boys that I just love to death. Great people. Yep. Certainly teachers here. I think Mr. Knoll, my chemistry guy, Mr. Ballantyne, who kind of helped me with the basketball thing, but great guy. Mr. Britton was a huge difference maker in my life. He just had a way of making the information he went through just so interesting. I think we struggle sometimes. I was not the greatest writer, albeit I worked really hard, but I wasn't very good at it. And he helped me at different times, and it was wonderful to have his help. And I will always be very appreciative of Mr. Britton. Certainly Mrs. August here, going through my time as a student at Candelaria and at Leslie, I had a lot of great teachers as well. Certainly, within college, the coaches and all the people, and certainly professors. I think professionally, I Carson Cooch, who was the guy that I worked for, he created a lot of what I do professionally in me. He had a high standard for me. And I will always appreciate that, because without him, I might have been able to get to the point where I'm at now, but I wouldn't have been able to do it as quickly. And so I will always be very appreciative of Carson. Certainly, the team that I currently work with. So my office, I've got 3 hygienists, 2 assistants, and 2 front desk, and they check me every day. So I'm always going to be thankful to them. They make me better. And that's my team. That's my people.
Yeah. Good people. Your survey that I had sent out, your answers included your office team as well. And I love that too. Just giving that credit outward, and that what a testament to you and the person you are, your humility. Think about the Mart's impact on South Salem alone. Zach Defoe is working in a space that Eric designed, right? That he advocated for. So just the good people and great Saxons as well. Always super happy. Let's jump into those rapid fire questions as we close. Favorite place in Salem to eat?
Recently, we love Chopstick Brothers.
Yes.
The spicy noodle soup. If people have not had that when you're like feeling a little under the weather. I love the local coffee shops. Big fan of Isaac's and GovCup. And, doing those small business places. We try and stay local with food as much as possible. We're at Bone Vine all the time. We have great food in Salem, and I think it should be celebrated. There's actually also this, I don't know if anybody's ever been out to Plaza Morelia in Kaiser. It's a Mexican market that is like, they have some of the best salsas and food. If anybody wants to go get some taco, like a taco feast, go to Plaza Morelia. They'll get you set up. It's an awesome spot.
Yeah, it's great. Favorite book?
I like to read. Typically, I'm reading 1 or 2 books at a time. Kind of one of those weird people that I start one, put one down. One of my favorite, I'm a morning person, so I don't know if you've ever read the book Miracle Morning.
No.
It's all about how to get the most out of your day before like 6 a.m. or whatever the token sloan is. But I love that book. I think it allows me to be a little bit more productive, especially when you have kids and life and everything. If you can get it done in the morning, then you can go to bed at night. Way more productive in the morning anyway, so try to maximize that.
I love that. That's good advice too. Favorite place you've ever visited?
I haven't been a lot of places. A place that's always near and dear to my heart is Nesco in Oregon. My grandparents have had a place there my whole life, and so it's almost a second home to me. Realistically, it really is a second home to me. Got a lot of amazing experiences and memories there. Certainly, it's somewhere that I hold very dear, and it's kind of like a little Salem over at the coast too. So you'll see people over there that maybe are in town, but you don't see them very much.
Love it. Who else should we interview?
Good questions. Obviously any of the Martzes. I think Eric would. So Eric's in a senior. Well, he's in a weird, I think he's like in his 4th of 5 years at Stanford. Yeah. He'd be a great interview, I think, even though he probably would never want to do it, unfortunately.
We'll get him.
Yeah, you'll get him. Ramsey Selbach.
Yes, he was my class.
Yeah, Ramsey's got a great story. I was with him up at OHSU and just showed me a ton of kindness through time. He's just a great guy. Mm-hmm. Another guy that's actually up there is, you might not have, David Mazerhart.
I know that name, yeah.
David's he's like a neurosurgery resident up there, which I think is the biggest one that's around. I think it's like 12 years. So he just in school for forever. But David would be a great guy. Interesting, super smart, he was a football guy. Who else? Gosh. I just saw a friend of mine that's in my class. His name's Blake Miller. He's a police officer in Albany. He's a great guy. He, again, silent type, but great baseball player, played professionally, and interesting guy.
Yeah, it's great. Any last shout outs you want to give?
Shout out. Thank you, Alex, for letting me come on the pod.
Yes, thank you, Alex.
Certainly my kiddos,
especially on your day off, right?
Especially on my day off. Yep. Certainly, Ryan, shout out to you. I know that you're behind the scenes on this a lot, and from the emails to the coordination to all the stuff. I mean, without you, this wouldn't get put together. I think things like this, as the podcast that Matt Cox has done, and it brings community together, right? It allows us to reconnect with people that we maybe hadn't had the opportunity to in a long time. And so it's such a beautiful gift to the town, and it's not without people like you who are putting it together where that can be a reality. So shout out to you, just making that happen. What a gift. And I will continue to love listening and hearing the stories of all these different people. It's been I look forward to the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday pod that comes on and hearing what's going on. So thank you.
No, I appreciate that. It means a lot. Honestly, it really does. And we've had some incredible stories and people to be able to share and spotlight. We've got some great ones lined up. I'm so pumped. Some of them names that you've already mentioned that we've got locked in, and thank you for your time and for jumping on. It really is an honor. This is honestly one of my very favorite conversations I've had and interviews I've had. It's just such a joy to get to know you, and a member of our community doing stuff for Salem Kaiser. And there's Saxons all over the world who are doing stuff, but Salem is a special place. And I'm say that because I used to really not like Salem as much as I do now. And it takes business owners and community members and leaders like you to make it run and be the place that I think we all see it can become. So thank you.
And that's the only way forward.
Yeah, right.
It's the only way forward. Right. It's whether we lift up our community to do it. So I think you're right. Through small business, through community members, that's the only way that we make Salem a better place. And I look forward to being a part of that. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
And obviously within our community, if there's ever anything people need from a person like myself, please reach out to me. I'd love to help out in any way that I can.
Yeah, that was my last question. How can people get a hold of you? How can people become a client, patient?
Honestly, just call my office.
Yeah.
Call my office. It's Bickler Dentistry. If people are interested, we're always accepting new patients, obviously. But if anything else, that's a great way to get a hold of me.
All ages?
All ages. Yeah, I'm a general dentist. I'm a generalist. So I love, obviously interacting with people in my community. I'm where I'm at because it's right there. It's a mile away from my house growing up. So I love being here, and I love taking care of the community that raised me. Part of my ethos and why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, what a special gift to us all. So thank you, and thank you again for jumping on.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it.
What a joy it was connecting with Dr. Bickler. Thank you so much to him. Corey, I appreciated our conversation so much. And thanks so much to your family for sharing you with us, both as a guest speaker in some of our classes, and as well as your time in the spotlight. Thanks to Matt Cox over at South Salem Properties. Thanks to our Saxon Success Fund team. And thanks to all of you for tuning in and making these interviews such a worthwhile time, both from our team's perspective and from our students and our entire Saxon community. We'll have another great interview next week. Stay tuned for that one, and go Saxons.